You are once again welcome to Evangelist Inimakalu TV, Treasure of Excellent Knowledge. I am your serviceable servant, Evangelist Inimakalu. I want to talk on this topic, the voice you obey. That voice that you obey. I want to let you know what that voice you obey can do to you, both in your present life, in your future life, and on your destiny. The voice you obey is very, very powerful, far more than you can ever imagine. I am here to tell you that. You know that is what I do. I am a human capital developer. If I will use the word, I can tell you that I am a Bible psychologist. I study human characters, human behaviors from the Bible, happenings, how things happen, the effect of things from the revelational dimension of the Bible. And I have just come with this topic right away, just to tell you the power of the voice you obey. I have some factors, at least I have 7 things to tell you about the voice you obey. Before that, let me read the text. I am going to read first of all Genesis chapter 2 verse 15 and verse 15 to verse 17. This is the voice of God to Adam. This is the voice of God to me. This is the voice of God to you. This is the voice of God to everyone. Then also referring it or relating it to human affairs, the voice you obey. The voice you obey. Genesis chapter 2 verse 15 to 17, reading from Amplified Classic. He said, "And the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to tend and guard and keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, blessing and calamity you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." This is the voice of God to Adam. The voice you obey determines a lot. Now, Genesis chapter 3. First of all, let me read from verse 1 to 6. Now the serpent was more subtle and crafty than any living creature of the field which the Lord God had made. And he, Satan, that Satan is that serpent, said to the woman, Can it really be that God has said, You shall not eat from every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat the fruit from the trees of the garden, except the fruit from the tree which is in the middle of the garden. God has said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. Verse 4. But the serpent said to the woman, You shall not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing the difference between good and evil, and blessing and calamity. And when the woman saw that the tree was good, suitable, pleasant for food, and that it was delightful to look at, and a tree to be desired in order to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate, and she gave some also to her husband, and he ate. He ate. I will continue from verse 7. I will read verse 7, then I will go to verse 11. Then the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaf together and made themselves apron-like girdles. 11. Okay, continue from verse 8. And they heard the voice, and they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to Adam and said to him, Where are you? He said, I heard the sound of you walking in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate. And the Lord God said to the woman, What is this you have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled, cheated, and outwitted, and deceived me, and I ate. Verse 14, And the Lord said to the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed above all domestic animals, and above every wild living thing of the field. Upon your belly you shall go, and you shall eat dust, and what it contains, all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will bruise and tread your head underfoot, and you will lie in wait and bruise his heel. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your grief, and your suffering in pregnancy, and the pangs of childbearing. With spasms of distress you will bring forth children. Yet your desire and craving will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. And to Adam he said, Because you have listened and given heed to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, You shall not eat of it. The ground is under a curse because of you. In sorrow and toil shall you eat of the fruit of it, and all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plant of the field. In sweat of your face shall you eat bread until you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Verse 23 and verse 24. Now, therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground, and from which he was taken. So God drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden the cherubim and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep and guard the way to the tree of life. The voice you obey. Now, at the moment, I have 7 factors to tell you about concerning the voice you obey. In this context, the voice of God and the voice of Satan, the one Adam and Eve obeyed. Adam and Eve as a classical example. The voice you obey. 1. They can mean well or mean evil for you. The voice you obey can mean well or mean evil for you. The voice of God means well for Adam and Eve, but the voice of Satan means evil for Adam and Eve, but they did not know it. 2, can be hospitable or extortionate for you. The voice you obey can be hospitable to you. It can be a caring voice for you, or it can be an extortionate voice for you. The voice of God to Adam, just like the voice of God to everyone, is the voice of hospitality. The voice of God is hospitable to us, but the voice of Satan is extortionate to us. God has said to Adam, it is for your own good. Eat all of the fruit of the garden. This particular one, leave it for me. Tell your wife like that at the due time. Then the serpent came to tell them that God never meant well for them, that God is a wicked God, a lying and deceiving God. Adam and Eve turned from obeying the voice of God to obeying the voice of Satan. But in reality, Satan had come to steal from them, to extort them of their divine connection, extort them of their happiness, extort them of their opportunity, extort them of their glory, extort them of their dignity, extort them of their coverage. They came to realize that they were naked. Satan comes but to steal, to kill, and to destroy, but God comes that we may have life and have life abundantly. So anything God says to us is for our own good. The voice of God is hospitable. Everywhere God speaks, it is about for the well-being of humanity. Unless otherwise, when humans begin to rebel against the voice of God, just like Adam and Eve did. 3, can salvage or endanger you. The voice you obey can salvage or endanger you. God means to save Adam and Eve from problems, save them eternally, but the voice of Satan wanted to endanger them, and the voice of Satan succeeded to endanger them because they diverted from listening and obeying the voice of God to obeying the voice of Satan, just like too many other people do on this earth today. The 4th one, can discipline or corrupt you. The voice of God is the voice of discipline to Adam and Eve. The voice of God is the voice of discipline to the whole world. But the voice of Satan is the voice of corruption. Which one do we obey? The voice you obey is very, very powerful, is influential and determinant to you. The 5th, can be telling you the truth or be deceiving you. The voice you obey is either telling you the truth or it is lying for you. That voice can be an academic voice, it can be business voice, it can be a manufacturing voice, it can be play voice, it can be different kinds of voices. But if that voice is not truthful to you, the voice is lying to you. The voice you obey can be telling you the truth or be lying to you. The voice you obey is very, very important in your life. The 6th one, can be leading you aright or be misleading you. The voice of God is leading Adam and Eve aright. The voice of God is leading you and I aright. but the voice of Satan is misleading to us. Which one do we obey? The voice we obey is very, very important. The voice you obey. 7. Okay. 7. I will add one. Let me use this one now as 7. The voice you obey can disgrace you. Can disgrace you or cover your shame. The voice you obey can disgrace you, can naked you, or cover your shame. The voice you obey can expose you to shame or protect you from shame. The voice you obey. The voice of God to issuing that commandment to Adam and Eve is the voice to protect them from shame. Do not tamper so that you will not suffer shame and disgrace. But the voice of Satan tell them nothing will happen. Tamper, do it. God is a fraudster. Don't mind him. And they did it. They suffered shame. Now, the 8th, which is the last one for now, can determine your destiny. The voice you obey can determine your destiny. God had told Adam that they should not eat that fruit, that the day they will eat that fruit, they will die. They will definitely die. Satan told them, it is a lie. No, don't mind him. That's your God. That's your God. Adam and Eve fall for him. They obeyed the voice of Satan. And the voice of Satan had determined their destiny. From where we have read, Adam and Eve were judged. God judged their case, then proved them wrong, absolutely. But their destiny is that God laid curses, both laying curses to the ground, adventure, and still laying curses on them. Many Christian ministers doubt that God never laid any curse upon Adam and Eve, but it is not true. It is a lie. He laid curse. He said, in pains, you'll be bearing children, you'll be having your pregnancy. It is not a blessing. It has negative effects. It was not like that originally. To Adam, he said, on sweat, you will be having what you will be eating. You will be making end meat. You'll be making your end meat by sweating. That is suffering hard before making end meat. Formerly, it was success at ease. Success at ease. Now it is success at suffering. Not even just severe suffering. Success at the end of severe suffering versus success at Eve. Versus success at ease. So, they were also expelled. God expelled them from the Garden of Eden. Loss of opportunity. The voice you obey. Had they obeyed God, they will not suffer all these negative consequences. The voice you obey is very, very important. The voice you obey is the voice of your mentor. Let me round up with this. The voice you obey is the voice of your mentor. Anybody you listen to and obey is your mentor. Your mentor is not always someone who teaches you, or all of the people who teach you, or all of the people who advise you in one way or the other. God may not be your mentor, but God wants to be your mentor. Anybody can teach, but nobody can. Mentor is being chosen. It is dependent on the mentee to choose his mentor. Mentorship is not forced. It is not imposed, but it is introduced. Then the mentees will choose whom they want to listen to, whom they want to obey. Adam and Eve chose Satan. Mentor is a trusted teacher. Mentor is not just a teacher, but a trusted teacher. But the problem is that the mentees can make the mistake of trusting a false teacher. And that is what has happened to Adam and Eve. They began to obey the voice of their false mentor. The voice you obey is very, very powerful. The voice you obey can either build you or ruin you. God bless you. As you know, this is my master textbook, Understanding and Executing Righteousness from Points of Reality. My master textbook. Every family is supposed to have this book and other books that I write. It is all about education. This is the kind of education that are packed in all of these books. So, living a contented life. Living a contented life. God told Adam, live a contented life. Don't cross your boundary. Be satisfied with what I have given to you. But Adam could not live the contented life. This is lust and their problems. By Adam and Eve's failure to live the contented life, they lived the lustful life. And you see the problem they have suffered. Lust is greediness. Lust is excessive desire. Lust is the act of crossing the boundaries to getting what we want or what we desire. And you see the problem. Polygamy and its problems. Polygamy and its problem. Here are the African brothers and sisters. Polygamy and its problem. Have you gotten your copy? Very, very important. Or you want to know about the end time prophecy, the Olivet prophecy, Matthew 24. Then use the prophecy of Jesus Christ in regard to the end time events that will be heralding the rapture. The Olivet prophecy, Matthew 24. They are all available in Amazon. They are all available in Prime 7 Media platform and some other platform. So this book, you will love it. You really love it. Each of them has its soft copy, hard copy on papers. Then each of them also have its electronic copy and at affordable prices. Until I come your way once again, I say to you, bye for now. I am your service of servant, Evangelist Imakalo.